Here's a 3-for-1 review on helmet removals, Smith, Legault, and Foster. And why does it matter? Well, remember, under the tough call system, there's an automatic $2,500 fine for intentionally removing the helmet of an opponent. So we have to see if they're intentional. Things I'll be looking for are different in a scrum than regular hockey play, because usually was this part of a normal hockey motion, but in scrums you do things that aren't normally related to hockey at all. So for scrums, was this part of an unrelated normal motion you would see in a scrum, unrelated to removing the helmet of an opponent? Was there any unnatural upward or outward extension? And was there irrefutable evidence of you removing the helmet? So let's take a look at the clip, and we'll start with the Smith one on Ethan Zada, as it turns out. So there's a check, and everybody converges in because you can't have hitting in hockey anymore without a scrum. So the linesperson, number 56, has Smith in the white jersey pinned to the glass. And number 91, the linesperson, has Zada facing him. And Smith is actually trying to reach with his right arm over the pile to get at the players on the other side. And as his arm swings around in that natural, unrelated motion to removing a helmet, it knocks the Zada's helmet off. And what's funny here is number 56, the linesman, actually is trying to save everybody, but he holds Smith's arm down so that instead of going over his head, it clips Zada, and then he actually stops him from swinging around and hitting the other guys, so he pulls Smith's arm down, and then he bops Zada in the back of the head unintentionally. So Zada's helmet comes off, but it's from 2 unintentional headshots. Now let's move on to the other scrum to the right of that melee. It's Charles Alexis Legault in white and Aiden Foster in blue. And watch Foster's left arm here. As they're grabbing each other, it comes back and hits himself in the head and knocks his own helmet off of his head. So Legault does have his arms wrapped around his head, but none of those motions are related to ripping an opponent's helmet off, and it doesn't actually cause the helmet from coming off. Now, he does push it down there, but that's because it's already halfway off, and it's just in the way, and he's getting rid of it. Maybe he's finishing the job intentionally now that it's already started, but either way, he doesn't remove it intentionally. On the other hand, as the battle continues, watch Foster's right hand. It's right now on Legault's left ear area, and Legault's helmet's going to come off, and it's going to follow Foster's right hand. And then his right hand goes across to the other side of the linesperson, and the helmet's still in his hand. So that's pretty significant evidence that his right hand is clutching that helmet, pulling it off, and then it's still going with his right hand because he's holding on to it. So the whole point of this, to fine or not to fine, in the first one, Smith on Zada, it was part of an unrelated normal motion. There was no unnatural outward or upward extension and no irrefutable evidence suggesting he pulled that off. So in the case of Smith on Zada, no fine will be issued. Now to Legault on Foster, again. The first one was part of an unrelated normal motion. There was no unnatural outward or upward extension and no irrefutable evidence that Legault was trying to pull that helmet off. So for Legault on Foster, again, no fine. And the last one, Foster on Legault. To me, it was possibly inconclusive that it was part of an unrelated normal motion, unrelated to pulling the helmet off. He could have been reaching his right hand over to punch him in the face or anything, but there was definitely that unnatural outward or upward extension of the arm, and there was irrefutable evidence in terms of the helmet clinging to that right hand and following it wherever it went. So for me, that's irrefutable evidence that he had grabbed that helmet and taken it off. So in the case of Foster on Legault, tough call would fine Aiden Foster of the Tampa Bay Lightning the automatic $2,500 for intentionally removing the helmet of an opponent.